Okay, here we go. It's first time the boat in the water. Hey guys, it is Ryan Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Welcome to our new show. We are going to do this for you guys. One Loft Racing is so big. It is the big train, the train that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we wanted to put a show together that has to do with One Loft Racing for you guys, the participants, or people interested in racing in One Loft races, or have questions about One Loft races, or just want to talk pigeons in general. Um, that's where this show kicks in. And I said, I'm not going to do this by myself. I thought and thought and thought. And in my years of thinking and dreaming and thinking and going to races and watching and learning and participating, I said, well, who would I pick? And there's a big long list, but it's so amazing when you do the research and when you do the homework and when you put the check marks, been there, done now, wins, hard course, boom, money paid, boom, every year, consistent. A man who knows his way around the pigeon lofts, knows how to take 4, 5, 600 lofts, put them into one loft, and get those birds to compete and race without tailwinds, dealing with desert, dealing with mountains, dealing with all the bullshit that Mother Nature has to throw. You know what? I figured it out. There was only one man that I thought was good enough to sit in this seat. Okay, there's only one. I'm going to bring him on. He is a good friend of mine, Johnny T, California Classic, Royal Cup. Sorry about the intro, my friend. it's
How you doing,
a lot.
Ryan?
It's a lot of pressure. But you are a one loft. I'd say you're a one loft master handler. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it a long time, trial and error in the beginning, but you work out the kinks and uh, you just you hope that things always go well. With young pigeons, you sometimes you just don't know. All you try to do is cover your bases.
Yeah, cover your bases. That's right. And people watching tonight, since this is our first show, hey, help us out. Don't be shy to post your questions or comments in. I will read them. Don't make them like 10 sentences long. Keep them simple and short and easy because my reading, I only went to grade 9, so keep it at a 6 to 9 level. Don't go past 9, please. But for you guys wondering, John Timmerman, I call him Johnny T. He runs the California Classic. He runs the Royal Cup. It is a great, prestigious week of racing down in the San Diego area. All the big names participate there, and so many winning pigeons come out from that area and go on to breed superstar pigeons in all different races, on all different courses, throughout the United States and the world. Because John, isn't it incredible? You started in when? 2003, was it?
Correct.
Think about how many one loft races just on Win Companion there are now.
Oh yeah, so many have come and gone. It's
Yeah.
um, it's it's actually it's a good feeling. I mean, you get younger guys coming on board, enjoying the sport, and uh, people always said, well, they told me that 15 years ago it's going to end, but look at where we are today. It's just gotten bigger and bigger to where it's actually worldwide now. So yeah, from what was started back 30 years ago, and then modified when my time came to present day, it's really impressive. I mean, look what we're doing right now. I mean, that's with the internet, with what we're doing with the pigeon, it's just it's become so condensed that we're all able to enjoy.
Yeah, the one thing that brings the sport together is kind of the internet, the live clocking. Now, if the one loft, and I really say this, John, and we're going to work on that this year with your two races, 100%. Uh, Play-by-play coverage of the races. I think it needs to be done. It's something I did at my pioneer race, and I found my small little race with 100 or 200 birds. I found the audience loved it. It was like they were racing pigeons. It's like they could come to the backyard and they could race, or they could be a part of the picnic. And we would do it for the races and the training. And we built up a little. It was a fun. It was fun because people could participate even if they were in Idaho or in California or in Calgary, Alberta. They were able to participate. And that's what the internet allows. And it really helps the one loft racing. Now, the guys, the breeders, the loft managers, they have to bring that in. And that hasn't come in yet, but you can see it starting to come over. And the guys that are going to do it, I think they're going to see an fluctuation. That's a word that's a little higher than my vocabulary, as you can hear. It I think it's going to bring them more birds because I think people want to be able to sit at home and have a cocktail and watch a race and actually watch it. What do you think, John?
Well, that is, of course, that's there's no better um, way, of course, to really appreciate what's going on with one love racing is through watching on the internet. But when you're actually live at a race, and like in my situation where you're with 100 to 200 to 300 breeders, um, and you're more on a one-to-one throughout the season with them, and then because they're not all coming, but quite a few are. And then you go on, time elapses 5 years and they're still with you. That's when it starts becoming special. And people are, everybody wants to win, but it's also the fellowship that goes along with all this. And many times there's guys that don't have a winning, they're not fortunate enough to acquire good birds. And through the years, people started helping each other out and giving pigeons and giving methods, suggestions. And that's when it starts becoming special. And that's when I feel that doing what I do with an OLR, that's when it touches home, and you don't know that until you do.
Oh, John cut out there, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. We will wait till John tunes back in. You're back there, my friend.
Yes, yeah. Phone
Yeah.
calls come.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
you're a popular guy. But I do agree what you're saying. Is to be able to go to the races are great. The problem is, you know as well as I do, how do you go to all the races? How do you? I mean, think about it. You fly one loft races, right? You run a one loft race, but you fly one. How many one loft races in a year do you participate in?
well, I'm in quite a few because I'm always trying to support, new guys coming back in or that have been doing it for many years. That's just, not everybody does that, but I've always tried to do that. And that's where, of course, I formed different relationships with people that either through club or through participation in my race that, for example, Stan in Hawaii, uh, he has his own pigeons, but because he likes to send the birds, for myself, I participate in a lot of races. Um, you start getting partners, and that's what, partners in other races. And that's where it becomes something that you look forward to, and you build a relationship, and it goes on and on. And yeah, it just, from to being a manager of a one-off race to being a breeder, it takes the stress off. It complements one another, and you're able to become actually a better one-off manager because you're breeding your own pigeons. You're seeing how they're turning out, and like I've always said, it's, if the pigeons aren't performing in certain places, it's not the guys, it's me. I have to look at what I have for my breeding stock and trying to tweak it to improve.
Yeah, good points. Michael Peevler asks, has any breeder ever won both of your finals in one year? John,
Yes.
Yeah, you've had that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had a few.
Do you find? Let me ask you, because you do the first drop, and you can get one bird or you can get 20 birds, and it all depends on the day. Overall, in your years, because you've had a 20 to 25-year run of doing this first drop racing, do you prefer a single bird, two or three birds, or do you like to see that 10 or 15 or 20? What do you think is the best
I
overall?
think I think I've experienced it all. I've experienced to where, well, in recent years, one or two on these harder races in the Royal Cup, but normally it's 5 to 10 pigeons, and that's a nice drop. Um, when you start getting to 2 to 3, you get big winners, but you get a lot of people, right? You got a few hundred people in the crowd, and there's only a couple winners. And if those people are not even present, then I see people frowning, and that becomes tough. But that's the race.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. You feel that pressure. And, guys don't realize that when you're hosting the race, and I've been to your race, you've got the barbecue and you got the tents and you got the beer and you got people that are right into it. And you can tell this is like it's going for blood, but in a fun way. And you get that small group, you almost feel it's almost like it sometimes can turn a little bit on those winners. When there's a big group of 20 guys, it seems like the whole atmosphere, everyone was winning. But
Well, but
hmm?
that's one thing for us in San Diego, because it is always challenging. If you do get a few, you're going to have a pretty more difficult race. Percentages will be low on the returns for the day, um, and that's exciting. It's like going to a 4 and a 5, or
Well,
or even a 6, right? Flying a 600, but in today's world has declined here, especially here in the States. You don't see that anymore. There's not that excitement. So
well,
I see more people with big drops. Um, that's okay. I mean, sometimes you want to say it's all about the party. Uh, you want people to have a little bit of return on their investment, and that's all good, as long as it's the pigeons. You just you like to see a working race.
yeah, yeah.
One,
Well, yeah, you always put on a working race. I don't care what anyone says. Your race is working. Even if you get a big drop, you'll see at the end of the day, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and that's the course. Um, we have a question from one of our clients. He's a friend of ours, Jason Mihalik. He is in, I believe, British Columbia, and I believe that is the same area where El Dorado Lofts is. Walter, last name. Uh,
Durful, Durful.
Durful. Okay, he is saying, I'd like to send some pigeons. What is the most difficult? What is the most difficult way to send them to Toronto from there to somewhere else? Now, I don't know. When Walter sends his birds, how is he doing it? I know Jesse Saguna apparently is shipping birds.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the go-to people were usually Oscar De Vries,
Okay.
or Jesse, and in recent years, Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you have an opportunity again. El Dorado Loft. I don't know who he's using. He said to me he was shipping around the middle of April. That was what I heard when I did his interview, and you guys are
Mhm.
going to see that. But if you get a hold of me as well, I will be doing one a little bit later on because I want to send a couple birds down and have some fun. Because if I'm going to be down there, I like to at least. Watch some pigeons, but it's not hard to get them down there, Jason. We can help you out. Hey, there's many different roads to Rome, but if you want to get birds down there, and Jason, I do recommend putting in a team in each if you can. The Royal Cup, the California Classic, and the San Diego Triple Crown, because you might as well make it a week of racing. Even if you can't come down, you're gonna totally love watching it. on the internet, because we're going to be down there and we are going to give you the start to finish coverage of that great week of racing, because it is the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup, the World Series of pigeon racing. That's what I think. But again, come down and experience it.
Well,
David,
that's just,
go
that's
ahead,
just
John.
it. I mean, that's just it. That it is. It's a special week. I mean, those that have come are drawn to it. Once you get bitten, you just look forward to it, and that's where having the course that's challenging. Then it becomes genetics. And there's been guys that have been in for 25 years, and they're barely scratching the surface. And then you have other guys like the person that called. Yeah, there's guys that have continuously on the drop. And there's other individuals like some of these people that have been interviewed, they've been consistent and they have families of pigeons. So, that's in the old days, that's what it was about. It wasn't about always continuing the course. I mean, believe you me, this is a course that will weed them out. We do what we can. We do, we take advantage of every day. It's changing. So as things evolve, they need, it's evolution. And that's what we're working with. And it's tough. I mean, you got pigeons that are cultivated for the last 10 years on the course, but those were on mild days and mild winds. And now, yeah, it's a little different. It's becoming more different.
We've got here, that is, John, you are right. As my father always says, pigeon is just a rare. David Tracy says to John, issue, what are some tips, John? Many one-off races, but wants to start flying them. John, is there some types of tips you want to fly?
I think sometimes, first, of course, your accommodations at home. That's I mean, I don't know where you're at with your loft and all that, but you got to have the sanitation, and you have to have a proper loft. Put it that way.
Okay.
Pigeons, sometimes people are. There's a lot of pigeons now flying one-off races. A lot of guys buying great pigeons or buying well-documented pigeons pedigrees. There's only a handful of winners. If these pigeons are completing the series, maybe my race or races out of Texas or races in Florida or races up in Northern Cal, to finish a 5 weeks prior to that, 7, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, in my case, 13, 14 weeks of training, they're good pigeons. And for me, you just look at the sheet, you see what birds have been consistent, and it doesn't always have to be the top guy anymore, because you have guys like yourself, the person that's asking the question, acquiring pigeons, that have a track record, and now you have a pigeon that completes the series. Well, make an offer, buy that bird, and put a pair together, and you see where it goes. And I'm not saying sometimes it's like for my situation, they say, I've heard it so many times, horses for courses, this and that. Good pigeons are good pigeons, but in our neck of the woods, and flying the course that we do, it's a little bit more challenging, and you just have to look at it this way. What percentage comes back? Oh, people will say, oh, something's wrong, or they don't know what they're doing. Well, guys, we've been doing this forever. We've been racing. We're continuously racing. I mean, my guys in my club, they're flying, 150, 200 bird hens for an old bird team. That's the competitiveness. And they're very fortunate to be able to ship the numbers that they have to these races. And I mean, with their not open limits, but 50 bird teams, whatnot, but they're very serious. So when you get pigeons, off of our course with the handling, they're just good pigeons. They don't always have to win, and you'll find that most guys that have been around in California Classic or Royal Cup, they'll tell you that. I mean, I hear it many times that a pigeon that survived, and they take the advice and they breed it and they say, wow, I won. It's just like going back to 2 years ago, Florida Derby. 4 out of the top 10 pigeons on the final were all birds that came out of the race. Now that's, but it was one of those days. It was challenging. This year again, they didn't win. They weren't winners, but they were in the top 20. 1 or 2 breeders. Considering there's a 10,000 bird in the
You know,
race to start.
John, I think, and some people, they don't realize there's a lot of one loft races out there. And then there's what I will say is when I look at your race, I've always been the kind of guy, if I win a one loft race, if I send birds, okay, normally sell it. I'm not interested in the bird, bringing it back. I am going to say this: the races in San Diego, all three, yours and Steve Miner's in the mod and Ron's at the time. I like the format. I like the work that went in, or even with Ron, the work that didn't go in, but the toughness that it was, and then how it all played out. I always found that the pigeons in that area, or the way they were raced, I could bring them back. I felt like I had played with them in a combine. I felt like they were well worked. I've seen races where I'm constantly scratching my head going, are these guys working them? What's going on? It looks a bit nonsense to me on paper. And that's where I've almost come up with the saying of, I don't want one lot birds. I'll sell them as soon as I get them. But I would say, flying in your race on your course, yours or Steve Miner's, the birds do it and they finish. I want them back because 100% when you bring them back, they breed not only good pigeons for other one loft races, breed very consistent pigeons in your club and combine. Because I think they're doing this for 25 or 30 years, both races, all three races. You build up, you guys know what you're doing. And it is a great way to test a group of young birds down in San Diego. But you guys put the testing to it. Like we talked about, you do so many training tosses that people don't even see.
Oh yeah, but it's one of those things that we can only do so much as well. We are, you're given a date to race, and you do everything within that window to get the job done. And sometimes, I like to say, I've experienced fires in my valleys. I've experienced, hail, all these things that all of a sudden, instead of having 12, 13 weeks to get these birds trained, now you're down to 10 or 11. And for example, this past year, it was horrible with the heat. And so it just set us back. And I admit it. There was days that, okay, the window was there, go for it. I got kicked in the nuts. It was tough. But that's pigeon racing. You can't, the whole idea of racing, I mean, it's just like in the days when there was serious pigeon racing, the dates were the dates. There was no modification, and that's how people got better pigeons. And there's times where they didn't want to ship their best because it was a little warm. Well, if it proves to come home, then it's even better. But that's the game.
Yeah, and you got to be willing to play it, and that's one thing that you guys do down there. You play the game. It's not always sunshines and rainbows, but year after year, the consistency. And guys, that's what you're looking for. You know, one loft racing, money is great, but you really want to test pigeons. You really want to test them. You
Well, it
want to
makes
see.
it's exciting on race day, especially
Yes.
when as a handler, and even for the breeder as well. Hey, you're looking at my aspect as a trainer doing what I do, and of course, I'm proud when we have winners. We're always going to get a bird. But on the other end, as a breeder, through maybe a Walt Durfel, maybe an Amelka, may it be a Johnny the Greek, or may it be a Johnny Lynn, they fly these for a decade, and they have pigeons that have these accomplishments. And as I mentioned before, as a handler, and you're part of that, that's where the reward comes in, because that's where all the effort from the day that the birds came into the loft through the trial periods of training to when the event starts. And uh, again, that's what makes it exciting.
Now,
And we're
John.
all that's where one off racing is supposed to be about. Not always about the big prizes, even though, like I said, I've had big prizes. I've had big, I've had big winners. But the game is the challenge is the challenge for the birds to see what you got to improve.
Mm. Well, I'm going to say this. We've got some questions coming in. 3DX Loft, we're going to get to you. Randy, we're going to get to you. But Ruben, he switches gears for us, John. And he's got a very good question. And that's why I love this show, because you don't know what question you're going to get. But the most important question for Ruben Moore is, does
Ruben
he,
Mora?
yeah? Does he
Oh,
supply beer on the finals?
what does Ruben Mora have to say?
He's wanting to know, are you supplying beer on the final races?
Always, Ruben, always. Ruben, if this is Ruben Mora out of La Puente, is that who it is?
I don't know. Ruben, where are you from? Post it in the comments, because John, oh, that's a bad Belgian pour, but hey, Ruben said the magic word beer. And you know what? It's a great question, because I'm going to say one thing. Your one off race, you've got caterers coming from Texas to do your catering, man. You got the legendary Patty Gage that, I mean, she can literally take this plastic line, this empty beer bottle, and a can of Fresca, and make the greatest pie you ever had. Am I right or am I right?
All the people coming out of Texas are a great time. I mean, like I said, we've had so many great people that, yeah, I don't even want to get emotional about it. I've done it before. I don't want to go there again, but it's special. It's you know, when it's race day, if pigeons don't come, yeah, you're upset, but yeah, if, the handlers were the same way. Our feelings get hurt too if we don't get the returns we like, especially if we did all the effort. But again, the day is the day.
Mm.
Or within now we modified it to where we try to make a better allowance within a 24-hour, 48-hour window if necessary. But they're going to be flown, and that's where all the hard work comes in, all the preparation.
And remember, as Ruben says, yes, sir. So Ruben already knows. Uh, the beer is good. The food is great. The hospitality is great. And that's something to look at. Hey, guys, remember, when you enter a one loft race, and you are going to go and spend the time there for the day, you hope that the breeders give a little back. Hey, put on a nice barbecue to the best of their ability, some beer, some something to drink. And I always say to people participating, okay, don't be that guy. Don't be that
Yeah.
guy that goes too far in, drinks too much, creates a scene. Enjoy it. Don't abuse it. Am I right, John?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Just
But
enjoy it.
let me go back to Ruben. I mean, Ruben hasn't participated for a few years. He was in the horses, if I believe. Um, and he was, I've known Ruben for many, many years. Him and I believe it was with Ramiro, with Aztec Loft, and we're talking back in '07, '08.
Huh?
Aztec Loft was bringing birds down with Ramiro and a few other guys from the LA area. But I'll use Ruben Moore as an example. Ruben was the type of breeder that always looking for the best. And he chased it. Didn't matter if it was Koopmans or didn't matter if it was the guy out of Germany with the ocean, with the blacks. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Black Power.
Black Power, correct. Um, so, that's why the guy wins. And I think if I'm not mistaken, Ruben has really played more heavily in Mexico with his pigeons. And that's great. But they know they fly the same direction as us. He used to fly up in LA going from a tailwind course, and now he flies east and he sees it for himself. It's not easy,
Well, hey,
you know.
hey, Ruben, the beer's cold. Come on, bring that team down. Come on, Ruben, let's get going. I know it's in you. You know what, Ruben? I know you want to play because I can feel it in you. Don't worry. Randy12B8W says, "Hey everyone, really enjoyed the One Loft tours and enjoyed the updates." Well, we're going to keep working on that to give you guys more. Uh, a friend of mine here in Southern Ontario, his name is Lance, LDX3 Lofts. One of these years, I'd love to send a team to Cali. I'm going to tell you, what you just said is very nice. Do it this year. Do it this year. And I'm going to tell you why. Because every time you say, I'm going to do it next year, it never happens. Forget it. Put a team in. Hey, send a team of five or send a team of 10 or 15 or two, and two. Send it to get into the game, to start participating. I promise you, you will totally enjoy it. And I'll tell you this, if you get pigeons that finish, no matter what place, they finish in the finals and bring them home and try them. You'll get some magic there. Feathers Elite is asking, how does he handle complaints when training and racing doesn't go well? Hey, John, you lost all the birds today. You lost my bird today. John, you're training today. It's windy. What do you do? John, what's going on? How do you handle people like that? Because we know there's a lot of
Well,
them.
there's hey, after doing it for a while, it's pigeon guys. It's just like all the bitterness. I mean, it's just like what we talked about. One loft racing. People initially started with one loft racing, yes, for big prizes, but it was also to get away from uh, to get away from clubs where arguing was. And so now we get into the one loft racing, and now we get these new people that come in, and yeah, sometimes they get upset. But because I've experienced it and I've seen it, they're not bad people. We all have the same, all of us have the same hobby, and it's going to take all of us to continue to keep it to grow. And I understand, like the people that are out having situations in Canada with one another, or Florida, or in Texas. We got to get past all that bullshit and move forward with racing pigeons. And that applies to myself, where if I get kicked in the balls and I got hit with the toss, and what happened? Well, what the fuck you want me to tell you what happened? That's pigeon racing. I'm not God. I can't, I can't predict the weather. I said, all I can do is do what I do at the loft to prepare the birds, to keep them healthy. And again, like I said before, we do our best with the apps, but that stuff there's no guarantees now with Mother Nature. Look, it's like present day, 100-degree weather this time of year. Who would have known? Why didn't they say this 3 weeks ago? Here we are. Well, guess what? Now it's going over to the Midwest. Who would
Mhm.
have known? And yet, if you go another 2,000 miles, they had snow. So, all these things are becoming an issue for one loft for pigeon racing in general. And
Mhm.
we as a group have to work together to make things grow. And I mean, I applaud the guys. I mean, I don't know if you ever, discuss like Mexico, but I applaud those guys. There's no crying. There's no one another, because guess what? You're probably not going to wake up one day if you're going to be if you're going to be a bitch. You just have to raise pigeons. And all we can do is do the best we can, but I applaud those guys. 100% I'm right.
You know, John, I think sometimes people need to say this. Okay, I'm going to enter the Royal Cup or the California Classic. I'm going to use these two races. They've been running for 23 years. Son of a bitch, the man's got to have a clue. He has a clue how to play the piano. He knows what he's doing. He has a track record. Say, when I send my pigeons to your race, I don't say a word. I don't say nothing. I let you show me. You show me. And at the end of the race series, I look at it and I say, did he have updates? Did he do this? Did he do that? Did he train them? Did he work? Hey, was I able to go to the finals? Did I have a bird there? All these things, win, lose, or whatever. It was a tough day. It was a great day. I won all the money. I lost. Did he do his job? And wait a minute, my birds had to compete. And did they or didn't they? It's a me problem. Be quiet. If everyone else plays, be quiet. Let the pigeons do the talking. Quit the whining. Quit the bitching and the noise. You're not out there to lose pigeons. You're not.
But listen, it goes to having pigeons for many years. And what I
I
mean by
agree.
that is what I mean by that is, as a breeder, you have to know good pigeons. I'm going to use an acquaintance of Ruben Moore's, if he's watching or not. Juan Gomez. He's the first one that, and Juan has a track record that's phenomenal flying right now. One of the best in Southern California. And I think those that are racing will admit that.
Okay.
But if we go back 15, 16 years ago, and that was when we were handling pigeons, and I don't know if it was his first or second year flying in the California Classic, and he gave me his birds under my management, and I handed him the bird, and I whispered to his ear, and I said, "What the, what the fuck is this, Juan?" He said, "What do you mean?" He handles the bird himself. Later, after the race, of course, his bird didn't come, and he says, "What am I doing?" I said, "Dude, there's good pigeons and there's super pigeons." He'll tell you. I've told him that. He sarcastically, he says it to this day. And Juan's very tight with Rosiers, gets good
Mm-hmm.
pigeons, top pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's flying a course that's very challenging as well. And he sees the difference. Mediocre pigeons won't cut it. And so what I'm trying to say is, you as a breeder out there, you're coming in with 2 pigeons, 5 pigeons. Some of these guys are coming in with 10. They do that because if you had to fly young birds and you had to pick, you banded only 5 futurity bands. How many are you going to have left for that 300 futurity race? You might not have any left. And if you did, you hope to have the right one banded out of the right pair. And that's the same thing that goes with the one loft race. It's the same thing. What people need to acknowledge is that these people that are consistent in these one loft races are, I don't want to say they have better hands or they have better genetic pool, but they're looking at things differently than what other people are looking at. And that's where I keep going back and back. You got to fly courses that are challenging, that just like in Mexico. If you're sending them to Mexico, you'll find for yourself. Right now I'm flying in Mexico with a big circuit of guys, and 90% of them, they fail. But it's okay to fail there. But here in the States, it's our fault. What is it? I know personally the guys that handle the pigeons in Mexico, they'll tell you, big names, birds are garbage. That's just the way it is. Until you find out what you have in your breeding stock, in a one loft race, it's hit and miss. And that's the game.
I will say, when you send them, let the pigeons show you. If the pigeons don't win, you're out. You didn't make it, but you see guys finishing. You don't have the quality. It's not there. And you talk about Yelly Rose ears. People can't figure out, well, why are Yelly Rose ears pigeons good? I don't sell Yelly Rose ear pigeons. He got damn good pigeons. He flies in the
That's super pigeon.
he has Diamond Verbont pigeons, but he plays national races in Belgium. He plays the Young Bird Nationals. That's the cream of the crop. The Super Bowl. Stefan Lambrecht's the same way. They fly the same style of pigeons. And people wonder, why do those pigeons come to America and they dominate? Because when you're releasing 5 young bird races with 50,000 pigeons per race for a whole country, this is where you see it. This is the same quality as playing at the California Classic. It's the same quality. I will tell you, the Eldorado Lofts, right? I have no problem. I'm not a one-off guy buyer. No problem buying Eldorado Loft pigeons. I have no problem buying Dave Clausen pigeons, especially if I'm coming down on this course. I see what the pigeons do year in and year out. It's the horse for the course, but they have it figured out. And I think people, all they do is like to blame, well, why isn't this working? What are you doing wrong? Listen, if you get one day bird, You get one daybird, and you send 1,000 pigeons, John. They all could come because the one got you out. That's the way I look at it.
Oh yeah, well, that's the race.
That's the hey,
People
and
need to
that's
keep in mind,
beautiful.
when we started One Loft Racing, a 5-bird entry was a 5-bird entry, not for all 5 to be there to go. The best ones to be there to go, to be entered. And you were hoping that you had 1 or 2. That's, now guys have stepped it up because they realize, hey, I want a better team. So those are things that you just have to be practical at. It's not to say that you can't win with one. I've had people with 1 or 2 entries win, but you better hope you got a good one on your team. That's
Hey,
that, I mean, people need to evaluate, just like if you're flying in a club, but in a club, you're flying with 10 guys, 20 guys, maybe. You're going up against 350 breeders now, 400 breeders.
and you
So
know what? You're going up against, and I'm going to say it. I give credit in the U.S. because there's so many races. There's guys that are studying to learn how to breed a one loft pigeon. As much as I don't believe it is, there is guys that have. They figured it out, and they're hard nosed guys.
here's a new guy that's been on fire for the last couple of years, Ethan Pippett. Phenomenal. Do I know Ethan? No, I don't. I know he goes to Texas. I meet him there when I go. I know he's learned a lot from Paul Daniels. I know he has some of Paul's pigeons. Paul, like I mentioned before, is not one to stand down. If he's losing, he's looking for the best the next day. That's what he does. That's why he's on top. Ethan Pippett's another perfect example. He's very fortunate that he befriended someone like Paul, because the guy has a true, really good record.
Okay,
And
here. Craig Hendricks says, ask John how he likes his Pigeon Boss sweater. John, get the sweater on, John. I want to see you sweat. You got to lose some weight. Hey, John, it's young bird season and you got to get into condition yourself. Let's not
yeah,
forget that.
I'm trying to keep that thing as new as possible. That's what I'm trying
Okay.
to do right now.
Uh,
I do thank Hendrik for much.
my friend Jeff Henderson from Australia says hello. We're going to breed them, and we're going to send them down to the California Classic Royal Cup. I'm just going to tell you that's what you're going to do. Underground Loft says, I fly the Royal. It is a damn good race. So shout out to the Royal Cup.
Thank you.
Hey guys, there's the loft manager. You have a loft manager on, and I'm going to say this to you right now. Nowhere, not too many races will put a loft manager on a show and he's behind the product. He knows the product. He knows what to do. And what does he want? He wants to make pigeon racing great. He wants to make it that great week in San Diego that has always been, and we got to keep pushing for it. And John, it is going to rise again. It's going to keep growing. Randy says, this is a great way to hear from an OLR owner. And we're not giving you Holland, right? And I can take you to find him in the same thing. But in America, for the last 25 years, you are a professional pigeon man. And guys, he did it all his way. He didn't blame anyone. He kept playing the game. And he's created a great race week, great grounds. Your grounds are second to none. The detail that you have put them in at, he said, no, John did it all.
Like I
He
said
sometimes
before,
thought Patty did it.
for you, and there's a lot of guys following, and I applaud them all. It's a good gathering of guys. I know here we have some backyard Hispanic races, and they bring 20, 30 guys together. And that's what it's about. In our neck of the woods, we've always tried to make it a little bit more special, and we're working on that now with, there's a casino that's only 10 miles or 10 minutes going back and forth as far as accommodations. And because what we're always, we put on a good race, but we're always looking out to make sure that the people are having a great time. And, but as I've mentioned numerous times, right, the people that really made San Diego, it's transition where we're at now to it's all forgotten because those people. So, I had a comment, Ahmed Ismail, I don't even know if some of you guys remember him, but he was the one that started the photo box. And he sends me a text yesterday. He said, God damn, your hair is white. I said, buddy, it's 20 years. What do you want me to tell you?
Oh my God. I have one of his boxes. They were $900.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
I sent it to Canada. It was like two. I know the box. I have it.
Yeah. But because of the relationships of One Loft Racing, that's where you make the friendships. Aztec, like I said, 07, 08, when he was first coming down here. I mean, I used to have a bakery and have different guys. Ruben Oro was one doing construction. He'd show up and you'd have his birds in the back of the car today, moving forward and make something more special again, because it's there. They're established on my end. It's just a matter of,
Underground Loft says it's all a gamble. You have good races and bad races. The better birds will show. I think a lot of people, they don't, and I really, really mean this. If I was a brand new player, hey guys, sorry about that. We were talking. We were in a good heated conversation. You can see my hair was going the other way. Nobody brought up Oscar, I hope. Um, okay, John, what were you saying before it cut out?
I don't remember.
Okay, so you know what? It was goddamn real good stuff. Hey, John, let me ask you a question. And I think it's always a ridiculous question, but I'm going to ask it. People say, oh, his friends win. His friends win. His friends win. You've been doing it so long. Everybody that enters your race, they call you, like me, to buy birds, whatever. We start to know people. I want everyone to win. I want one guy. I want everyone to win. And I think that's something I hear and it just turns me right off. Friends win, friends win, friends win. It's
Yeah,
a, it's a
when you come to San Diego, they all become acquaintances and friends because it's such a close. I mean, when people are coming in 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 or 4 of the people that just made comments are people that I befriended over the years. Am I close? Am I neighbors to them? No, but because of this passion of pigeons, and I'm being honest, what I'm telling you, you build a relationship, and in the end, like I said, that's my reward to me. That I was able to be straightforward and give someone a lift off to do a better improvement in their loft, either with advice or with the race, or be someone as a crutch to help them, to enable them to put their one loft race on, or to build relationships. I mean, I can't tell you how many guys have come across and been in my backyard to do one loft racing now. Yeah, that's fine. Taking ideas, looking at different ways we do a shoot, grabbing pigeons, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? You got the ideas, you got the passion, and you know what? You're a good people person, and you meet people at the race. I will say something, guys. I'm one. I flew down there 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I only ever did good in one of John's races. I did okay. I was never in the money. And in the other ones, in Ron's and in Ahmad's, I I couldn't. I won. I was doing great. And at the end, when I stepped back and I looked at it, John, I always said, "Shit, he's he's the handler. He's the man. He has it." And I didn't get there. And maybe one day I am going to when I play some more, and I will. But guys, it's not always what you're winning. Take a look. Take a look at what the man does. Look at the obstacle course. Look at the work the man puts in. And people forget that. People forget to look at it. They get caught up in what they've won.
Well,
And
that's where it becomes, that's where people, people are human. Long enough, I just stand back criticism and I just let it roll off my back, because I know better. In the end, you got to have a little bit of luck that day too. Some people will say a lot of luck, but no, there are guys just like the previous people that I just mentioned.
Mhm.
They're killing it. And when they're killing it here, a lot of them are killing it all over. Sometimes things are unexplainable. There was a gentleman, the hell was his name? Chuck Willie, in his late 80s now. But there was a time where this gentleman, and this has happened numerous times when someone has passed away, that things just freaking happen. Their success is unbelievable. Did I lose
Oh,
you?
no, I'm still here. I'm just playing with. I'm trying some stuff, John. Don't worry. I'm just. There we go. I wanted to put up your logo. No, I get what
Oh,
you're
right.
saying.
Anyway, so going back to Chuck, Chuck won Triple Crown. He won the California Classic and he won the San Diego Classic, all three in 1 year. Unheard of. Different management on all three lofts, but he just killed it. So, I mean, sometimes things are unexplainable.
Hey, John, let me ask you: do you think, because you grew up with and I will say there's a different group in California, there was a different group of pigeon men in those early 2000 era there they were a real incredible group, and I missed the Chris Peeman time in that, and I kicked myself because I missed it, but I was too young. But do you think it was better then? Well, or was it was
Well,
different, or what do you think it
I think
was?
the main thing was guys back then were more established. Now we have some great young people coming on board, um, and they're learning the ropes. And then maybe another 10, 15 years, some of them are going to be very successful and give more direction to the sport. But going back 20 years ago, not to say that we don't have that now. I mean, we have our big, very successful guys, but we had more pigeon guys that were successful, that were racing. And, that's the best part of pigeon racing. You could be the wealthiest man, you could be the poorest guy in the club, but they're still shaking each other's hands out of
Yeah,
sportsmanship.
yeah,
You're rubbing elbows. You're rubbing elbows with and I always used to tell people when I was young, because as we all know, right? What do? We race pigeons. Everybody looks at us sideways. But when you're in the sport, you meet a contractor, you meet a physician, you meet a lawyer, you meet someone who owns, is an investor, and because of this common passion, and I'm the perfect example, because of this common passion of what we do with pigeon racing, um, it becomes something that's unique, and that's what's fantastic. Like right now, like I said, I mean, I haven't been to Mexico, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but when I hear the stories where you got boys and girls and dads and moms all flying pigeons together, that's racing pigeons, because it's a family thing. And of course there's going to be guys that are going to be a little bit more professional, but they're all enjoying the sport, and that's what it's about.
yeah, yeah. And John, we always talk about it. It comes back to the same thing. Do you ever notice? And I think you feel it like I do. It's not the money; it's that great thing of participating and winning, or beating these guys, these really good flyers from all over America, or even America and Canada. They send their birds, and you beat them. And you don't say, "Oh, how much did I win?" You say, you close your fist, and I've done it before. Fuck, I've won. I've done it. I've done it.
It's the
I'm there.
prestige.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
know what? I don't figure out until a little bit later. Oh, I want. Oh, you won this much money or not? And it doesn't matter if you won or you didn't. It's just I've done it. And I'll say
that's and
something.
that and that's what's been lost. That's kind of where we're at in right now in present day, that because there's so many races, that it's not taking, this doesn't become as serious. Back in the day, you had 7 or 8, 5 or 6 one-off races, a few big ones. Now it becomes special. It'll be, for example, a Super Bowl. There's only one Super Bowl, but now all of a sudden, if Canada has a Super Bowl and we have freaking they're all over, is it going to be special? I don't know.
John, John, I think on that note, I think we should wrap it up. This is our first one. We did very good. I screwed up this time, not you, but that's okay. John, I want to do this weekly or every other week. I think it's good. I didn't even ask how the birds are doing in your race, but we're gonna go back this week and do some more videoing. Um, I hope you guys have liked it with John. Again, have questions for him. Pick his brain. He's here. He's an open book. He's not afraid. Guys, next week on the show, John Timmerman is going to take a cigarette and burn his skin
No,
because
I
he's
quit
one.
smoking, dude. No more smoking. It's bad enough. I've been with pigeons and smoking. It's no good. Bad combination.
Yeah, but you have one loft race skin, and that's got to be tough.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good with that.
You're good with that? Hey, John, you ready to come back again next week and we'll kick the tires again?
Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy hearing from people that blast from the past, and that's what makes it even that makes it more special to me because I don't talk to everybody every day. I mean, in the old days, I had a few older guys calling me left and right, and things have changed now. I've got it to where everything boom. It's just it's like clockwork, and that's what that's business, and that's where what I've done with the birds. There's a system to it all.
Well, you're doing a good job. Hey, guys, that's John Timmerman. I'm Ryan from Feathers Elite. You guys want great race. You want a prestigious race. And I will say this. I think, John, I'll ask you, in the United States of America right now, we could say all the races are great. Okay, good. Everybody, there's your participation badge. But let me say this. In your mind, in real prestige, what do you think is prestigious?
Prestigious is prestigious is when you're having a group of people having a great time and that they have memorable experiences. And in the end, it's got to be the fellowship with the people, but then those races where they're proving their genetics. That's a successful race. And they can't all do it. If they're all doing it, then it's like my wife says, if they're all there, well, fuck, is that a freaking race? A race is for the like I keep saying, it's for the superstars to prove themselves, to come to the top. That's
Yeah.
the game. And it doesn't, that's what makes it special. When you get I hate it. When it's, I'll leave it on this note. There was a person that I met a few months back at a one loft race. I won't say where or what, younger guy. And oh, you guys have smash races out there. Those pigeons mean nothing. I mean, I'm looking at him like, dude, when 90% of the birds don't come, and those that do, those are special pigeons. Nobody wants to see that or believe it. Perfect example is we all see Mike Gannis. He's buying in previous days he still is buying superstars. But the pigeons that he got out of South Africa, may it be mix, may it be set and spun silver, may it be Wolverine, all on difficult races where percentages were very low on returns. Did all those pigeons breed good pigeons? Absolutely. To this day. People forget that. Forget that. Like I said, our sport here in the States has become so commercialized now that these guys that are selling pigeons left and right, I'm their worst enemy. Shut Timmerman down. Get rid of them. Do not want to talk to them. Why? Because their pigeons a high percentage of them won't make it. It's not that easy. That's how pigeon racing has always been. So you're not looking for good pigeons. You're looking for the special pigeons, right? The
Hey,
exceptional. That's the game.
I agree with you. If you buy pigeons that do the work, I don't care if they're one loft race, combine, national winners. If they do the work week in, week out, ground it and pound it, and they're there. They're ace pigeons, they're top pigeons. And they do it on a course where the wind isn't blowing them home. where there's a little controversy. You can compete anywhere. And the races in San Diego, especially, they are a cheat code in America. For you Americans watching, wake up. You have the races to fly international races and fly anywhere, wherever you want to go. These pigeons that fly in San Diego, come and take a look. Take a look and try it. Come to the race and drive around. Drive an hour around John's place. You'll see. It's scary as shit. But you know what? You have to try it. You have to get outside the box. And like your buddy you met, that's not a pigeon man. That's not real pigeon man. I love it to see John the day. Hey, you get 50, 60, 80 birds, or you get a day with 5 birds home, John. I don't think you did a bad job. You gave it your best. But the day sorted them out. And people
Well,
forget that,
that's
eh? Mother Nature, she's a bitch.
well, you're looking, like I said. I mean, quality pigeons, even for these big races, international races, they're going to, they use the cross. They'll use the speed pigeon with a distance pigeon. But how many
Mhm.
guys fly distances now? Compared to what it was. Some of people don't have the time. Some people have, they have different reasonings. But that's where the races, the challenging races, when not all of them can do it, that's where it becomes exciting. I think I shared with you, Ryan. You need to really do something on some of these guys in Hawaii, and what they do island to island, and what they go through, and their love for the pigeons and their thoughts. I mean, it's truly remarkable. In the United States, most of the guys don't even realize what they do, how much training and what they go through, what they start with and what they have at the end. But in the end, they'll tell you they always got great pigeons.
Oh well, hey, John. There's one. There's you know John as well as I do. The basket will never lie to you. You have to be willing to accept what the basket tells you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think if you listen to all these big guys, they're telling you black and white, and for the people, yeah, I say it all the time, I don't even want to say it, but like I said, if you look, maybe the Nemelkas or the Clausings or the, like I said, the Paul Daniels now or the Pippins, they'll tell you, I mean, you cannot base everything on the hand. You cannot base everything on paper. It has to be shown, and it has to show you what's clicking. And I mean, when I say clicking as the pairs, do all your homework, but as far as the health is concerned, but you got to have the birds that can do it. And it's just no different than me. I mean, I'm racing a small team in my club. Um, I have a great program with the health of the birds, but in the end, do I have the race team? You got to have the animal. And going back to my friend Juan there in LA area, he came just the other day when I had to pick up pigeons up there in Chino, and he showed me his team. Well, shit, every single freaking bird was a superstar. I wish I had them on my team as flying old birds. That's why he's dominating. It just, people have to realize that, and that's some of it's being in special relationships with people. Some of it is just you're fortunate. You're fortunate when you come across a click pair, and if you got more than a few click pairs, or you got a family of birds, that's what it's all about. That can
That's
do the
what.
job. That can do the job.
Hey, hey, John. We went all over the board, up, down, and around. We had some great conversation tonight. People tuned in. We will be on again next Wednesday. Hopefully, John will be on. We are going to try and keep this going all season long on Wednesday nights. If you guys have questions, one loft questions, pigeon questions, this is an open forum. Get in there. Don't be shy. You're talking to a legend. I wanted the best. Feathers Elite stands for the best. We bring the best. Top man there. You can trust him. You can trust him with your pigeons. He gives you his very best. Hey, John, it's not sunshine no more there. It's dark.
It's getting
Ready
there,
to,
bud. But you know what? We're still with beautiful weather, right? It's unexplainable how nice it is. I'm sorry.
hey, I'm
I
gonna let
got my tan, buddy.
hey, I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna wrap this up, guys. You see the races here. California Classic. You've got the Royal Cup. You've got the man who runs them. He'll be on. You have questions. You want to participate. It does not matter where you are in North America. You can get to these races. This man will fly your pigeons. He'll give you his very best. And if you have the pigeons to do it, you're going to win. And if you lose and you get all upset, you can take it out on me. It doesn't matter. Hey, John, we're going to wrap this one up. That's John. That's John Timmerman, also known as Johnny T. I'm Ryan, Feathers Lead Pigeon Auctions. Like, share, and
Have a
subscribe,
good night,
guys.
bud.
Thanks for flying with us. Be safe and bye for now.